Hi, it's Julia. Today I thought I was going to do a recap of my January. Let's start with my intentions here. It's a very chaotic page. I did in the beginning of January. Actually, I think I finished it on the 14th. My intention for this year is I want to have the feeling of discovery, or being on what we in Sweden call like explorer walk. It's something you do usually with your kids, and I really want to have that sort of feeling of exploring and looking closer at different things. So one day I just sat down, I wrote down my intentions, and I also used, of course, Viola and Franz to help me visualize what I'm wanting to focus on this year. And I really want to have this the feeling of being on a discovery and just creating and feeling free to explore a bit more and not just produce for the sake of producing, and also not focusing so much on creating finished or good work. I just want to see what I can learn throughout the year if I just give myself time and the space to do that. And the things I want to do, I have written down what I want to do. I've written down why, because I do believe that if I give myself the space and the opportunity to do this, I will grow as an artist and enjoy my process with that. How do you do that? And I think this is a really important thing. And I want to focus on creating more. And I also want to explore a lot more. And I also want to take time to learn a bit more. Find myself sometimes thinking, well, I know that, but when I'm thinking, okay, I know that, but can I explain it to another person who is not into it? And that mindset have really sort of excited me, because I really enjoy learning more. And so this month I have tried to do a lot more just exploration, having fun, and also learning a bit more. So I have brought out all the sketchbooks that I've been using, and let's go through them. I'm thinking it's easier to go through sketchbook by sketchbook instead of chronological, because I really don't know. So let's start with this. It's a big Royal Talens A4 in craft that I've just painted. So in January, I think this is the first one that I did. I started making wrapping paper, and while doing that, I used this green color and I was rolling it, and I was like, oh, it looks like hills. So immediately I went into the studio, I brought out my sketchbook and did that. And then I came back and I made like little islands with houses and water and sun. It's not finished in any way, it's just like that kind of reminder that this is what I was thinking. It doesn't have to be anything more, just like that sort of a note to myself that that is what I saw while looking at this. Also, a lot of these, the Royal Talens sketchbooks, I use them a lot when I have paint left over, and then I come back and use them as background. So a lot of this is like, it's not in order, which is also why it's a little bit tricky. But yeah, so here I started, I had some ideas, swatched out some colors. Yeah, maybe I'll come back and finish it later. And then again, I finally just sat down and I had done some notes on my phone, but I just wanted it on this paper. And also this, the underpainting here is gouache, and that is from exercises that I did in this book that I will show you later. Again, some paint left over. I tried to do a self-portrait. Apparently I've broken my nose a few times, so it's completely crooked. Also my mouth is like, but you know what? It's fine. Portrait is one of those things I really want to become better at and keep practicing. here is another portrait that I did in my Hahnemühle. I usually paste in, oh here, watercolor sketchbook, and in here I decided I'm going to dedicate this to portraits because that is something I really want to become better at, and as you can see I have a long way to go. So this is the one I did in January of Queen Margaret II, was Queen Margaret II, and I have like, yeah, a lot of practice needed, but yeah, that's what this book is for. So yeah, some paint left over, so this will all just be backgrounds ready to go later. I did two haul spreads in here, so here's just a reminder of what I got. This is the Cochineal Red by Schmincke. That is here, so I just made that. I didn't spray this one before, so it's a little bit of oil pastel here. And then this is actually together what I did in, I just have these brown by Artway, like so here I've just glued in. So what I did, I took a book and I went through and just picked out motifs and used oil pastels. So on these ones, I then went over with acrylic matte medium, and these do glue sort of together, so I'm not really sure. I actually did it on here too, and they do get glued together, so I'm not really sure. I thought that was going to be like the best thing to just go over really thickly with the matte medium, but yeah, that was not the best idea. So we'll keep working on that because I really enjoy using the oil pastels. So this was one of those sort of exercises where I like sat down intentionally to sort of do the exploration, looking through the book, picking out the elements. More just paint not being wasted. And then here finally the second part of my Jackson's haul came in. So swatching. And then this, oh, I had so much fun doing this. So Tradera is like our version of eBay. I just went on and picked out different items and drew them, and I had so much fun doing this. And then also I did some notes about the title of the thing, and then if they had like an asking price or if they were a bidding, like how many bids there were on each thing. And yeah, I have been going back to Tradera so many times just drawing different objects, and I just love it. I think it's so fun. So this is definitely more like a spread in here. And then here I got these oil pastels by Pentel. I got them from Craftelier. So this is the last. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I just found an image on Pinterest, changed it a bit, but I just had a really fun time doing this with the Pentel pocket brush pen, and then adding in these oil pastel neon ones. And this one I have sprayed with just a top coat, a satin top coat, and though I do believe these are a little bit drier than like the Sennelier ones, I do get a little bit if I'm rubbing, but it doesn't transfer. So that is one. I'm also experimenting a little bit with like how to seal in the oil pastels in my sketchbook. It's one thing if you have it like framed, but in the sketchbook where there's more friction and I keep going back and forth, still looking for a good way. But yeah, so that's my this one. In my other one, because I do keep two and I just go back and forth between them, but this one I haven't done anything in I just put down paint in here, so I haven't done any like proper stuff. This is a new color I did, so I just put it on my working slab when the watercolor was done and sort of stamped it on there, and these are just notes for other projects. So this one doesn't have any actual work in it. This one you might remember. It's the watercolor sketchbook I did in the beginning of the year, and in here I've done a little bit more. So another attempt to a self-portrait in a much looser style with some gouache. I do really like this photo, partly because I don't take a lot of photos of myself, but also because there's so much snow. So this is one of those photos I might go back and try to paint again later. This one was part of a vlog with some shimmery paint. And then this was, we went for a little trip, and again trying to do some portrait stuff. I think my mom turned out okay. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, so I've saved the hotel key stuff and this, so yeah. And then here, I really like this one, just like a really odd angle of our house and the studio. But I do really like parts of it, like, yeah, and Albert, obviously. Here I try to follow a YouTube tutorial by Sarah Burns. She was doing something with watercolor pencils, and I was like, I have a ton of watercolor pencils that I really want to use that I don't use, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Looking at them now, I like them better, but I was so frustrated, and I also wrote that I was really frustrated, and I was like trying, like working through trying this one. I just did in plain watercolors and no watercolor pencils. And I'm not sure if it is what the issue was, to be honest. Looking at him now, I'm like, I really don't want to try it again. This is also some transfer from the work on the other side. But here I have used a lot of Nuvo watercolor pencils, and one thing I realized was that they have so little pigment payoff. So it could be like just an issue of having like not enough pigment. Because I then started adding in a few of the Inktense pencils, and it was a big difference. So I think that might have something to do with it. And sometimes I'm just like, you know what, it's frustrating, move on. So yeah, here's just some stuff. I don't usually do like abstract stuff, but I just really liked how this one looks, so I'm just going to leave it. And then I redid the watercolor palette that I have with my own colors, so this is the swatch for that. And then a sneaky peek, I got this book, The Field Guide to Color, and I have done 5 or 6 of the exercises. So here's the first one I did with gouache, that then turned out to be the underneath painting of the other. Was that the first one? No, it wasn't. Here is the first one, I think. So yeah, I just did the few exercises that was in here. I think they've been a really good exercises and then have sparked other things. So for example, the color wheel then sparked, I did some other color wheels with my own colors, which I really like. Having that is a really good resource. I haven't done all of these, they call them color meditations, and I haven't done all of those, but I think that's fine. I bought it for the exercises. So yeah, I think it's been a really nice book because you actually get to do the things and actually get to practice the stuff, and I think that's really good. You can obviously do the exercises on separate watercolor paper, but I just think it's such a good book with the exercises. A little bit iffy because I don't think I've ever done that many, so I actually did it on another sheet before, just to sort of practice my water control. I think that's a really good exercise to do. Also, I'm really happy with my little gradient over there. I also finished reading The Color Theory, by Patty Malaisha, I don't know. So this one is, it says the Essential Guide to Color. I would say it's a really good book if you're painting with acrylic or oil, because pretty much all the examples in here, there's a lot of examples, are for acrylic and oil painting, because that's what this artist is working with. So it's a lot of, he's talking quite a lot about underpainting and how to layer, which someone like me who is mostly in watercolor doesn't really work in the same way, but I think it's a really nice, it's a really good way to explaining the different things. So it's a small book. I finished reading it in a day, and it has really good exercises and good examples. So yeah, more of that sort of color exploration and learning. Last things. I think I actually did another painting, but I don't know where it is. So this is also Royal Talens. Let's see, where did we, that's where we ended. Just some more random colors. And this is a book that has been sort of a mix of journal, sketchbook, commonplace book, swatching. It hasn't really had a proper function, sort of, and I think that's why I'm still working in it, because I started this quite some time ago, 2002, and I think that's why it just like hasn't really. So now I just keep it here, like with the bigger Art Talens sketchbooks, and it works. Now I use it pretty much daily. So yeah, when I'm painting. Here I just covered with blue. Here was another thing, I just painted with red, and then made a really wonky portrait of Henry VI. And I had so much fun painting it, and I think it's so fun. Another page I covered up, and then just doodled on top of it. This was the same day, and it was actually, I was having a chat with Jem from the Color Cave, and she, we both have the color cubes. So she just gave me like random ones, and I picked one of them, and 210 was the one I picked. And yeah, just started swatching out while we were chatting, and this is what came out of it. So it was really fun. This is more when I did the exercises in here, especially with all the mixing all of the colors. I didn't want to waste the color, so every time I just sort of dragged it here, and I love how this looks. Same here. I think that one, it had to be, yeah, this one with all of the different colors. So I just, whenever I had paint left in my brush, I just put it here. Also here, strawberries. And that was the last thing I did for January. Now, this little book I mentioned in my art haul, it's like the book that I keep with me all the time. So it doesn't have a lot of stuff, but I did do this page for the book that I was reading at the time that I did finish on the 20th of January, which I'm really happy about. Then I'm also reading some pigment books. This one, obviously, I haven't been reading, but I have done the little artwork of it. And also, this is the one I did for this book. And it's just for fun, just to sort of keep the interest going, sort of. But let's see what other things I've actually been painting. So I got a set from Temu. There was 12 color pencils with the different colors in them. So I just swatched them here. And then here is some a house, and I started with this. I didn't finish it, but when I go back, I see what I was thinking, so I'm fine with it. And then here, using some of the colors to do like the glow around the moon, and then using black and I really like that idea. And then this is from some Instagram posts that I've been saving from L_A_art. And she had, I don't think it was like a whole page of it. It was just like, you could see like a little bit, but she has done these really fun little insects. So I did that one night, just to get something done before bed. And then I did this big one, and I really like the shine that I was managing to get on that. Again, just some paint left over, and now I can go back like and just to feel it. So this is just regular acrylic paint and then just like a flat brush, and I just did that all over. And it's not a lot of text, but just enough to create that sort of interest. Just a picture from Pinterest, and whatever I had, I think, yeah, whatever I had on my desk, which was a lot, so I need to clean it. But it's just like, there is colored pencils, there is acrylic markers, and Tombow maybe? I don't know. Some stuff I had next to my bed. So I just pulled out color pencils and 2 colors of Tombow markers, and just did that, and I really like this color scheme, so I might come back to that. I started painting some stuff in my room, so I just did a little swatch right there. Here I had done, again, you know, just putting down some colors. Now these are layer cakes by Jane Davenport, and they are so chalky. So yeah, that was not very fun. And then I just took some color pencils and layered on top of it. And some more birds, and these are all Tombow markers, and then the purple is my my Platinum Preppy pen. And here again, just some green, this one that I mixed myself, and I just put it here to swatch it out, and then I came back later and did this horse on top of it. Again, the same thing. This is that orangey red color. Orangey red. No, a warm yellow color. And then I just use the green Tombow to sort of knock it back a bit, and then some color pencils to bring out the highlights. Again, just some colors in the background. I'm trying to use this dark green color pencils to knock it back, and then some very light neo colors to bring out the highlights. And this is from Tradera. One day there was an auction. I had 22 beds at the time. And this was also a little bust, but the more I worked on it, the less it looked like the likeness. Keep working on trying to get the likeness in portraits. It just doesn't go very well. Some more stuff from Tradera. This is a little deer figurine, and then I love how this one turned out. It's not good, like proportions to the actual stuff, but it's a cover of Batman, which is really fun. I think it's really fun. Is that in Sweden, like when Batman came here, like this is from 1951. He was called like the Leather Patch. I have no idea what they were thinking, but they thought apparently it was a brilliant idea to rename him. So yeah, it was really, really fun doing this, and I think that's something I want to go back to. I have saved a few fun old comic book covers on Tradera, so I think I might go back and do that more. Here I found some fishing stuff from Tradera one day. So the last thing I want to show you is the last painting I did for January, and that is this one on just an A5 piece of paper. It had some blue gouache paint that I had wanted to use up, and then I did this painting on top of it, and that is the view from the window when I'm making paint. So it's nothing special, kind of boring, but you know, it's the view I see every time I do some paint. So yeah, that is all I did in January, and I am so happy to be able to like say like I actually did what I set out to do. I painted a lot, I explored a lot, I've learned a lot, and I've actually followed my intention for the year for the first month, 1 out of 12. So now, yeah, it feels a lot better to have like substantial goals. Like, how do I actually reach this? How do I maintain this sort of sense of being, exploring, and having fun? Well, this is how I do it. And yeah, obviously, some of the stuff are a bit odd and not the best, but some of them I really like, and I think that's the thing. And I've had so much fun painting this month. So yeah, that's my January. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you're interested in any handmade watercolors, links are down below. I don't know what more to say. If you liked the video, please hit like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll be back soon.